Welcome back, fellow jazz bums. So for this video, we are going to talk about what we're interested in collecting. So we're all kind of evolving on what we're looking for and what we're purchasing and what we're hoping to find. So we're just going to have an open discussion about what the three of us are currently interested in. So yeah, remember to like and subscribe. Let us know what you're looking for. And yeah, leave comments and we'll get the discussion going. So Chris, Felipe, what are you looking to expand your collection with?
Go ahead, Chris. Sorry.
Okay, sure. Well, lately I've just been collecting a bunch of like 70s and 80s stuff that has Cedar Walton and Billy Higgins in it. I just keep looking for records that have those two guys in it as a starting point, and then a lot of them also have Clifford Jordan, which is awesome. I don't know, I'm just kind of obsessed with that group of players. You know, all the stuff he did in Europe, the Clifford Jordan stuff that was in Europe, and there's just so much of it. They did a crap ton of records together, so that's what I'm looking for. I don't even care what it's on.
Does it matter what era it is? Like, could it be early stuff? Because I think they really span the decades.
No, for sure. I was just that group together. So I mean, if they did stuff earlier on, I don't know. There's just so much stuff from the 70s that they did, and none of it sounds like 70s jazz. I love 70s jazz. It's not fusion. It's like post bop, you know, or just straight up bop, right? Like great records. I mean, an example of one I listened to today for the first time is this one right here. Let me show this real quick.
Oh yeah.
So this is on Crisscross. It was recorded in '85, I think. It's Slide Hampton with Clifford Jordan, and then Cedar Walton, David Williams, and Billy Higgins. So those three guys together, man, are great. And here's a picture of Clifford Jordan on the back.
Yeah.
So this is a really good record. I mean, this one, some of the inner city stuff, like that live record I got with Clifford Jordan and that whole crew, really good. So I'm just kind of focusing on artists right now. Like I've been reading about Monk for a while, just listening to the audiobook. It's taking me forever to finish it, but so I like got him in my head, and then this crew here. So that's what I'm collecting on. That's it.
Now, when you collect that stuff, because I'm going to speak from my own experience, I'll be like going hard after something, but then there's all these like other things that pop up. Like there's new reissues, and there's all this other like. So it's not like I'm only getting this. It's like, but that's my core thing, and then as like people recommend things, or as I mentioned, like a reissue gets announced or something, like there's other stuff that comes along the way.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I bought some reissue stuff today, trying to keep up with the series that I care about. I blame Notes and Tones Mike for this whole path I've gone on, though, because he recommended a couple of the records, and dude, they just sound amazing.
Yeah, absolutely.
What about you, Mike? What's your latest obsession?
I've been label hopping. So I went pretty hard with Prestige. I went and got a lot of Miles records on Prestige. I feel like that was a really good investment. Honestly, I wanted those, and that was really fun for me to do. And then Chad announced the Prestige reissue series, so I got those as well. That was pretty timely. So I had a ton. Prestige. So I had a ton of Prestige, and then I was like, well, let me build something else. So I moved to Impulse, started going through them. I then moved to a few other labels. The most recent ones have been Argo. I've really now collected pretty much everything I want from Argo. I'll still like pick it up in passing if I see something interesting in a record shop. But I mean, like I got a lot of the stuff that I wanted from it, and I'm really happy with that. And then where did I go from Argo? Oh, and Riverside has been something I've been over the last year really expanding on, and I got a bunch of Riverside. And not like the Thelonious Monk and Bill Evans, although I have gotten some of their stuff. Really like all this other great music that hasn't been reissued. Not even some of the stuff's not even on OJC. And so now I'm like, where do I go? So I started thinking like maybe I'll go later. Started listening to Muse, Timeless, Cobblestone. There are some records I want. I have ordered records, but I'm not seeing myself dive into those labels in the same way that I have with these 50s and early 60s labels.
You need to get a Beehive record though, just one.
Yeah, I would definitely get a Beehive. There's definitely stuff that you picked up and Mike has shown that I would be interested in. Yeah. But what I'm going to do now is, I think because my Prestige collection is really like very much like out of balance with like a ton of Miles, some Coltrane, and then what Chad reissued, I'm going to go back. And the thing is, like, they reissued that over the years with different covers, different titles, but you can still get like really good pressings. A lot of times Van Gelder's in the dead wax of that stuff, and it's still affordable. It's not, you know, the first pressings might go for like hundreds of dollars, but the reissues. So I've ordered a few of those. So I'm really going to, and Prestige has a huge catalog,
Yeah.
hundreds and hundreds of records. So really going to go in, and I did my first pass. So I'm going to continue. Like what I've done with like Riverside is like I've noticed like I continue to do passes, and I keep finding stuff each time that I kind of like maybe ignored or didn't really wasn't interested at the first. But now that I've listened to this guy, I'm interested in this guy type thing.
Yeah.
Or I heard him as sideman or something. So I think where I'm going to go, I'm going back to my Prestige, and I really want to grow that with a lot of the players, you know, like everybody that was on Blue Note like recorded for Prestige.
Yeah.
Like I like will randomly in my searches just type in like musicians' names, and maybe they're not like there's Duke Pearson, there's Sonny Rollins, there's there's just everybody, Coltrane, there's the only person I don't think is actually on Prestige is Lee Morgan. I don't think he's ever recorded for him, but essentially like everybody, a lot of people did.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And I don't think Prestige has recording contracts. I think Blue Note was the pioneer on that, so that's why everybody's coming in on Prestige.
Yeah, and the different style, like the styles are very, very different in terms of like. I heard Dan say this on his channel, but as I'm getting into this, I'm realizing it myself. It's like if you're listening to a Sonny Rollins record from like that was put out in like '56, it's recordings from like '51. They sound like that, and then like you're listening to I think it's like Billy Harper Trio. That sounds completely. There's like it like the style is like all over the place.
Right. No, Prestige is huge, man. I mean, I've got a bunch of Prestiges. I got all those ones that Chad had put out, except for the ones that haven't come out yet.
Yeah.
They're all great. I would love to have more. I mean, speaking of Dan, I think all three of us, Felipe, shared some some of Dan's Prestige videos with us when we watched them again.
Yeah,
yesterday.
Some of the first videos that I watched on Dan's channel. They're amazing. He goes the 7,000 series, 7,100 series. I mean, he goes all over the place. He shows them all. He talks about them all. It's great. You know, everybody should watch that.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Well, Felipe, what are you looking to do in your collection?
So in my case, for next year, I think, I mean, we can never say I'm satisfied with what I have, but I'll try to be more focused as well. I mean, just following tone poets and whatever. If there's any classic that is interesting to me, I keep buying acoustic sound series, some contemporary issues. Recently, I got some Riverside that I'm very happy with, and thank you, Mike, for recommending. I'm gonna post up this record soon.
Oh,
Oh,
nice.
Absolutely amazing. That's the original stereo pressing. So Riverside has some really good jams, and they sound amazing. This record, really good.
Yeah.
So
It was on there. That's amazing, man.
all right, yeah,
Lou Mitchell, Pepper Adams, Julian Priester. That's
yeah. Sonny Clark. Yeah, it's crazy good. It's crazy good. And even Philly Joe plays some piano here. I think the last track.
Oh, interesting.
Oh, right. Oh.
So it's a beautiful record. So I'm gonna be like pinpointing some stuff on Riverside because this one I'm gonna search for his records. They're hard to find, so Japanese might be the way to go. But Don Friedman Trio. This was recommended to me by a friend who's a collector. He knows his stuff very deeply, and this is great recording. Great.
Yeah, his records get pretty pricey. There's one Circle Waltz, I think it's called.
Yeah,
I think that one's really good, and that one's pretty expensive. And then there's another one. It's like I forget the name of it, but it basically has like the Manhattan skyline, and it's like 10 things on a riff or something. I forget the title of it, but yeah, they're both pretty expensive.
Some deeper into some of his Riverside recordings, and again, Mike said some Prestige. They're all over the place. I found this one yesterday for like $10.
Mm-hmm.
It's an original stereo Riverside.
Jimmy Forrest. I love Jimmy Forrest, man. That's cool.
I got into contact with Jimmy Forrest through Chad's
Yep.
Prestige. It's a different recording, but this one is great. And it's a very different lineup. So Jimmy Forrest, Hugh Lawson piano, Tony Potter on bass, and Kevin Johnson on drums. It's a 61 recording. It is outstanding, really outstanding. So I'm gonna find some more titles on Prestige as well. Pacific Jazz, of course.
Oh yeah,
This record deserves a reissue. You guys
yeah.
have it on
I
Pacific?
don't have it. I don't have it. I
This,
I would pick that up though.
yeah, this thing deserves a reissue. So it's a if you have a one record to okay, what's an example West Coast sound? That's it.
Yeah.
Beautiful. And the cover is amazing. It's gorgeous. But on Prestige again, I found this OG a few months ago. This deserves a reissue.
Oh yeah, yeah. I was looking at that.
That's a beautiful, beautiful record. I mean, Red Garden has so many records.
Anything with Red Garland leading on Prestige is going to be kick-ass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, some more Jazzland. I want to invest more in Jazzland.
Oh yeah. That's
Have
another.
it. This one,
Who is that?
Sonny Rad.
Oh, okay.
So that's like so. Jazzland and Riverside are the same.
Yeah. So the
Same
sound
team.
is quite similar, especially with stereo pressings. But mostly, I'm gonna be focusing this year on getting more original Blue Notes, first pressing, especially 1500 series.
Yeah. That's
And
awesome.
I want to hit 3 digits on my Music Matters collection. These are my goals.
I'm sure you could do it. I believe in you.
I hope so.
Living too.
What are you up to? What are you up to now? Do you know?
I have some test pressings coming, and I have a super good SRX that I just
Okay.
got. Yes.
You should do a review video about whatever the SRX is. So someone else can buy it.
Yes.
Where it is.
There's some out there. I mean, not on the website, but some channels in Fire.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's some.
So this is a recent pickup, Prestige pickup that I mentioned on the live stream last week. This is a Jayhawk Talk, Carmel Jones, Jimmy Heath, and Barry Harris. This is an original pressing. So I think I was reading on London Jazz Collector his review of this, and in the comments, the actual recording engineer, who is not Rudy Van Gelder, commented because he was saying a lot of people assume that this was recorded at Van Gelder Studio. It's from 1965, so it would have been at Inglewood Cliffs.
Mm-hmm.
But it was actually recorded in New York City with this engineer, which is why there's like no Van Gelder stamp or anything like that. This is it sounds really good. This is original pressing. It's on the Blue Trident label, and the lineup is Carmel Jones, Jimmy Heath, Barry Harris, George Tucker, and Roger Humphreys. And it's a pretty it's not like a complete like variety album, but the first song reminds me of like the 1965 like Sidewinder kind of feel to it. So actually I wasn't like too into this because of that, because I was like, right, it's another like Boogaloo album, don't necessarily need it. But the rest of the album is very straight ahead, and I think that's when like Carmel Jones' trumpet really shines. So so I ended up picking up this, and this has been in my cart for like 4 months. So I finally pulled the trigger.
You showed it and no one bought it out from underneath you, huh?
Yeah, well, I got nervous when I just got nervous because I figured that people might start buying Carmel Jones now that he's going to have a Tone Poet release.
Yeah.
So I figured this might get more expensive, and I might not be able to get it. So I figured if I'm going to get it,
you got to tell yourself to buy a record, man. Whatever you got to tell yourself, right?
Yeah, I know. I mean, come on, Jimmy Heath and Carmel Jones. You don't really have to twist my arm too much.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, so that's a Prestige I picked up, and then today I got an offer accepted on Sonny Clark Work Time, and that's like an early Prestige that goes for a lot of money. But again, this was a reissue mono. Later on, I can't remember the year, maybe 70 or 72 or something like that.
Oh, great.
And it's RVG, and it's I'm hoping it sounds great. So that's coming in. I got it for like $20. So that's what I want to do with my Prestige stuff. Like look at those reissues with the different covers and just really kind of build it out and just get the music. And I'd like to do that before I dive into the OJC stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
that makes sense.
Instead of being like on YouTube or internet always searching for stuff to get, I'm actually enjoying the stuff that I got.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been doing that this week. I mean, a bunch of the Prestige stuff I listened to this week. It's been nice.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been revisiting my Tom poets from the start. AP 45s and stuff, MoFi, whatever. I'm trying to get a team and then go through them through like a day or a week. I think it's a good exercise.
Well, you know, it's kind of a trend that I've noticed for me is that I've really haven't been giving much attention to my Blue Note Classic series, and I have so many of them. But like, I'm so interested in some of like the cool finds that I'm able to pick up. I'm
Right.
like, I'm just listening to so much more of that, and maybe it's because like it's it's kind of curated by Blue Note, so I just pick it up as it comes out. Like it's not as intentional for me. It's just like I'm gonna get it as Blue Note, and I want to build my collection, and maybe it's because I'm not as invested in it in terms of like researching and trying to find pressings and comparing it to another record that I may want to buy instead of this record. Um, so I've just been neglecting my classic series. So
And I think perhaps there's a feeling they're always going to be there, and this other stuff is rare, so just get it and it's gone.
yeah,
Well, I
Perhaps.
think, yeah, I agree. I think part of it too is that we just buy records constantly, so we never run out of new shit to listen to.
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
it. Yeah,
So
Right?
that's what I'm trying
That's
to.
the problem.
Yeah,
yeah.
I'm trying to put the brakes on and enjoy them and stuff.
Yeah, I
Uh,
mean, I
but
am too.
but and just to wrap up my part here, I think that there's one that deserves a reissue that Mike pointed this week.
Hmm.
That's this guy here.
Oh yeah, for
Oh
sure.
yeah.
This guy has to be out there again.
Now, did Music Matters do that ever?
Yes, they did.
Damn it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's going to be a classic.
Other classic It's okay.
They
The
do,
classic series
did
sound
they,
great.
Yeah.
did they do Night Dreamer as well?
Yes.
Oh. So I
That's-
think the reason why Chris and I are upset when we hear that is because that means it won't be a tone poet,
For real.
Yes.
right? So I mean, in a classic series is fine,
Yes.
but the tone poet treatment is kind of above and
I mean,
beyond. So
if they just made the classic series have the same covers as the Tone Poets, and they were still pressed at optimal, and they charged $37 for it, I would pay for it.
what I would prefer is to have like a Stoughton jacket, like the Prestige reissue, so like stocky, and then how like Sam Records will insert the photography into their reissues.
That'd
And
be
do
great.
that because I do really enjoy. I mean, the session photography is awesome. I do like
Yes.
to have that.
That's a great idea, man.
But like this way, you don't it doesn't take up as much space. You get a really nice jacket, and you get the session photos.
That'd be pretty sweet.
Absolutely.
So
You should talk
But,
to Jim Harley about that.
yeah, I'll tell him in our next meeting.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
All right. Anything else? Any other thoughts? Anything like that you feel like? So I mentioned like the classic series is I'm neglecting it. I mean, I still listen to it. I'm always pulling a record out, but I just feel like it's just not where I'm focused. Do you guys have anything like that where there's a part of your collection you feel like you're not really as into?
No, I think maybe some stuff that I bought just because of the label, but not much. I purged a lot of records last year. I'm probably purging some more as I get better pressings or early pressings. So,
Yeah, I mean, I need to do that. I need to sell some stuff where I have duplicates and all that for sure.
All right, everybody. That's what we're thinking. We're approaching our record collecting now. Let us know what you're doing. Is there a label that you're really interested in? Are you focused more on the reissue stuff? Is there a part of your collection that you feel like you've been neglecting that you need to kind of get back to? Let us know what you think. Remember to like and subscribe. And any final thoughts, guys?
I
Keep
think
on buying records.
Yeah, and enjoy the music. Yeah, that's it.
And come to our live stream and show them.
Yeah,
Yes.
absolutely.
Friday nights, 8 o'clock Eastern. And if you have a YouTube channel, you're welcome to come up and show some records.
And bring your own beer. Yes.
Yeah, bring your own beer.